God is above time, which is why he is described as the Most High. He is not subject to time, and time does not affect him. That is why we say that God does not wait for anything. What is future for us is past for him. This is why when the Quran speaks about the Day of Judgment, it describes it in the past tense. It says, "And the trumpet was blown," past tense, even though we understand it as something that will happen in the future. For us, it is still to come, but for God, who speaks with his knowledge, it has already happened. The future is already recorded and finalized in the mother of the book, the preserved tablet, and God speaks of it as if it is history. He says, "And the trumpet was blown, and the sky was split open," using the past tense, even though for us, these events are yet to happen. This is because in God's knowledge, it is already completed. Everything except God is wrapped in time and subjected to its effects, but with varying degrees. For example, when we read about a group of angels, the exalted angels, God says, "The angels and the Spirit ascend to him in a day the measure of which is 50,000 years." Surah Al-Ma'arij 74. A single day for them is equal to 50,000 years for us. This is a completely different time scale because they are in a different realm. There is another group, the angels of administration, about whom the Quran says, "He arranges every matter from the heavens to the earth. Then it will ascend to him in a day, the measure of which is 1,000 years of your reckoning." Surah As-Sajdah 32:5. This means that for these angels, one day is equal to 1,000 years of our time. Time in the afterlife. When a human dies and is resurrected, he moves from one time scale to another. On the day of resurrection, it will seem to him that all the years he spent in his grave and the years he lived were just like an hour. The Quran states, "The day they see it, it will be as though they had not remained in the world, except for an afternoon or a morning thereof." Surah An-Nazi'at 79:46. And when the hour is established, the criminals will swear that they did not remain except for an hour. And on the day the hour is established, the criminals will swear they had remained but an hour. Surah Ar-Rum 30:55. All those years spent in their graves and in their lives will seem to them like just an hour because they would have shifted from one time scale to another. Einstein's theory of relativity. Einstein helped us understand this concept with his theory of relativity, which showed that every moving system has its own time scale. For instance, we live on Earth with our own time measurements. But if someone were to travel to the star Sirius, they would experience a completely different time frame. One day there might be equivalent to 1,000 years or more here. This helps us understand why the angels and the Spirit have different time measurements, because they exist in a different realm with a different movement system. It also explains why the angels of administration have a different time measurement, a day equivalent to 1,000 years of your reckoning. The inner and outer time. Philosophers speak of two types of time. Objective time, which is the external universal time we measure with clocks and is based on planetary and celestial movements, and subjective time, which is internal and personal. For example, someone could dream for just 4 seconds in real time, but within that dream, he could live through years, experiencing childhood, school, marriage, and old age, all within mere seconds. This is the inner, subjective time, which is different from the external, clock-measured time. different timescales in human experience. Humans can experience different perceptions of time based on their state of being. The time of desires. When living in desires and temptations, time seems fleeting and erratic, filled with anxiety and constant chase. The time of thought and reflection. When engaging in deep thought and contemplation, time feels calm and serene, and moments pass quickly yet deeply. The time of spirituality and worship. People devoted to prayer and spirituality experience time differently, entering a state of peace and eternity that transcends worldly concerns. This final state, the time of spirituality, is likened to the experience of angels, a type of timelessness and divine connection that is rare and precious. The great mystery of time. Despite these examples and explanations, time remains one of the greatest mysteries of philosophy and religion. Even with the scientific breakthroughs of Einstein, time remains enigmatic and incomprehensible at its core. The Quran gives us hints of different timescales, like a day equal to 1,000 years or 50,000 years. But the complete nature of time is still beyond our understanding. We are merely touching the surface of its vast reality. Just as children learn the basic concept of hours and days, we are just beginning to understand the cosmic and divine nature of time. Beyond Earth and its cycles lies an infinite cosmos with realms and time scales beyond our comprehension. For now, all we have are glimpses and hints. The full reality of time is part of the great secrets of creation that only God knows in His infinite wisdom. Today's topic is about the future. In reality, the future doesn't come from nowhere. The future already exists right now in the present moment that we're living. It's just like the story of a fetus. All of its traits are already present in the fertilized egg. In fact, the future can be understood through observing signs and studying possibilities. Right now, we can predict when the sun will set down to the exact minute and second, and we can forecast weather changes with great accuracy. This is not the hidden unknown. The Gabe, the unseen, refers to something else, like what's happening right now among the angels in the higher realms. This is divine knowledge, and humans have been given the ability to understand some of these phenomena. Even animals sometimes are able to predict the future. For example, ants can sense earthquakes 24 hours before they happen. Fish show unusual behavior before a quake, and even horses will whinny beforehand. This ability to sense the future isn't limited to humans. This brings us to a new question. Can we predict the future of humanity? Where are we headed? Surely humanity has gone through a long history, starting from the Stone Age, then the discovery of the plow and the rise of agriculture, followed by the use of coal, the Industrial Age, the age of oil, electricity, atomic energy, and now genetic engineering. Over the years, human life has made enormous leaps. A person who would once need hours to travel a few kilometers can now fly across oceans in supersonic speeds in just 8 hours. Humans have extended their senses and abilities to the far reaches of the universe, seeing 2,000 million miles away through wireless sensors, and even hearing what's happening under the oceans or in the deep stars. However, the price of all this progress has been steep. This beautiful blue planet is called Earth because of the oceans and atmosphere. But all of humanity's advancements have come at the cost of environmental degradation. The very Earth we call home has become polluted. So the question remains, Is all of this worth it? Is this progress the end? Or is it simply the beginning of something much bigger? When we return to the question we started with, what does the future hold, and where are we going? There are only two possibilities: war or peace. These two paths will determine the shape of our future. If wars happen, they won't be the same as in the past. Weapons today are terrifying. In the past, the battle would rely on the courage of the warrior. But now, it's all about science. One person only needs to press a button to launch devastating weapons like nuclear bombs that can kill hundreds of thousands in an instant. But what's even scarier is the possibility of a nuclear winter. A single bomb or two could result in smoke that blankets the Earth for 6 or 7 months, blocking sunlight, leading to freezing temperatures, and causing a mass extinction of life. This is a real possibility if we misuse our scientific advancements. The science itself isn't to blame, but rather how humans use it. And here's where things get even more interesting. In the Quran, it says, "Wait for the day when the sky will bring forth a visible smoke that will envelop the people. This will be a painful punishment." Is it possible that this is referring to an event yet to occur, like a nuclear winter? Many ancient interpretations of these verses say, these signs haven't yet come to pass, and that they are prophecies for the future. For instance, the splitting of the moon and the smoke mentioned in these verses are cosmic signs that will affect the entire universe, not just a small group of people. The verse about the beast of the earth, which speaks to the people, is also a curious one. Some interpretations suggest that the beast could refer to modern technology, like the TV, which speaks to people. But is it really what the verse meant? Ultimately, we don't know for sure. But what we do know is that any limited nuclear war could bring about the kind of phenomena described in the Quran. The important point here is that science, despite its amazing progress, is still a tool. It's how we use it that matters. It's a matter of ethics. Just a small misstep in the use of powerful technology could mean the end of everything. This is why God, when speaking to Prophet Muhammad, said, "And you are truly on a great standard of character," not, "You are truly on a great standard of knowledge." Because the character is the key to how we use the knowledge we've been given.